Welcome to the 90-Day Lock-In, our main character era. This is where discipline meets destiny. I'm your host, Kayla Vine. I love it here, and so will you. Let's lock it in.
I am running my own race on my own unique timeline. I celebrate the success of others without questioning the value of my journey. Welcome back, friends. Grab your coffee and your confidence because today we are tackling the emotional equivalent of glitter: jealousy, envy, and comparison anxiety. It gets everywhere and it's hard to clean up, but not impossible. Now, for our quick weekly check in, last week we talked about motivation versus discipline and how to stop waiting for motivation, that initial temporary burst of excitement and visible progress, and start embracing discipline. Discipline is the essential, reliable engine that demands consistent work, even when you feel tired or external signs of progress are completely absent. True, long term transformation depends on this quiet, steady effort. To build it, forget big leaps and focus on small, manageable tasks that gives you a quick dopamine boost, creating the momentum you need to tackle those bigger goals. Remember, motivation fades, but discipline delivers. And let's be real, motivation is fickle. I want to know, did you manage to ditch the fleeting motivation and stick to a disciplined habit this week? Was it glorious? Or did you end up eating ice cream for breakfast? Send me a quick message and let me know the messy truth. Okay, now let's talk about the specific emotional sludge we're diving into today. This topic is brutally real for me. My personal kryptonite: Facebook. That's where all of the old high school and college connections live. And bless their hearts, they are thriving, or so they tell me. And there's always that one individual. You know the one. They post something, anything, really often something objectively mediocre. Like, I put gas in my car today, and suddenly the internet explodes. Hundreds of likes, dozens of shares, a standing ovation in the comment section for a comment that is so mid. It's small town living, right? The same few people always get the spotlight and all of the engagement, while the rest of us, the normies, get to watch the parade from the sidelines. And I'll be honest, that instant feeling that bubbles up is not pleasant. It's part anger and part petty jealousy. I sit here thinking, excuse me, I navigated public transit and filed my taxes this week. Why don't I get a praise for that? I'm doing way more interesting things. It's a ridiculous, toxic thought, but it's real. It's the feeling of being an uninvited guest at someone else's achievement party. That feeling I just described is a mashup of our toxic trio. To conquer them, we have to know their names. Envy, wanting their specific car, job, engagement ring. Jealousy, fearing you'll lose your partner, spot, or title. And comparison anxiety, the general exhausting habit of measuring yourself against everyone else's feed. So, where does the inadequacy lie? On the endless scroll. The core problem, my friends, is that you are taking your full, messy, complex, behind the scenes reality, the burnt toast, the passive aggressive text thread, the bills, and comparing it to everyone else's curated, filtered, and highly edited highlight reel. No one logs onto the post of the emotional breakdown they had at 3 a.m. They post a vacation, they post a glow up, and we do the same. So what you are seeing is an incomplete picture that's designed for maximum approval. You are comparing your 100% truth to their best 1%. Stop that! Stop holding yourself to an internet standard that isn't even real. So, what's the immediate action plan for those toxic feeds? If you can't just block them, your high school contact them. You can even unfollow. That way, you remain connected, you preserve the professional or familiar relationship, but you eliminate the daily temptation to compare. Think of it as putting the loud neighbor on mute while you focus on renovating your own house. You don't have to see it to remain a connection. Your peace, ladies and gentlemen, is more important than your feed. Now we get to the good stuff. Why does a stranger's success trigger such a powerful and negative emotional reaction in us? It's a reliance on external validation. This is when we place our self worth into metrics that are constantly changing and that other people control. It's building your house on worth, on shifting, volatile sand. And it's not just the likes and shares. We outsource our value to the bank account balance or our salary, determining if we are successful or struggling, the number on the scale or the size of our jeans determining our adequacy or our beauty, the consistent and constant need for public praise and approval from every single person in our orbit. When someone else gets the praise we feel we deserve, it triggers a deep emotional fear that we are fundamentally flawed because we aren't being validated in the same way. This reliance is a spiritual weakness. You are essentially telling the universe, I am waiting for permission to feel good about myself. And that's a long wait, honey. The lasting solution isn't to stop comparing, it's to stop needing external comparison to feel okay. We must cultivate internal validation, building your house of worth on unshakable stone. Internal validation is the radical belief that your value is inherent and non negotiable. It doesn't change based on a number, a comment, or another person's perfectly lit selfie. It is rooted in things you control and that build genuine character, like integrity. Did you do the right thing when no one was watching? Or effort. Did you put in honest work regardless of the chaotic outcome? And even compassion. Were you kind to yourself today, even when you stumbled? When you rely on this, you become complete on your own terms. The success of others is no longer a threat. It is just information because your self worth is secured eternally. The only engagement metric that truly matters is, do you approve of your effort, integrity, and actions today? We established that relying on others to feel good about ourselves is the root of comparison anxiety. But let's look at the pros and cons of this toxic dependency, shall we? Because there is a momentary upside, which is why we keep falling for it. Think of external validation, the likes, the shares, the paycheck, the scale number, the wow, you look great comment as ego junk food. It offers a tiny little taste of sweet, sweet satisfaction, but it leaves you feel hungrier than before. It gives you instant gratification. Someone liked your post, boom, instant rush of feeling seen. But darling, that dopamine hit lasts just about as long as a snowflake in July. You need the next like, the next compliment, the next raise immediately to feel okay again. And that's the con. The momentary pro is that it's easy to track. You can literally count it: likes, dollars, pounds lost. It gives you a simple, measurable benchmark. The major con is built on sand. Your worth is entirely dependent on unstable, unpredictable sources, algorithms, fickle people, economic trends, and arbitrary beauty standards. You are letting strangers manage your emotional bank account. And worst of all, external validation breeds insatiability. You get a $10,000 raise, and for 2 weeks you're happy. Then you find out Greg from accounting got a $12,000 raise, and suddenly your 10,000 is inadequate. External validation always moves the finish line. It keeps you running on a performance-based treadmill that leads external validation nowhere. Isn't really about your success. It's about control. You're handing the remote to the nearest commenter or influencer. And then you get mad when they change the channel. Talk about the good stuff. So stop giving internal away validation. Your power. This is the soul superfood. It takes effort to cook, but it nourishes you for a lifetime. The greatest pro is unshakable peace. Your value is tied to your integrity, effort, and character. These are things you control. No amount of external criticism can penetrate a solid internal foundation. This leads directly to authenticity. You make decisions based on what is right for you, not what will get the most praise. That means you can finally start building the life you want, not the life the internet thinks you should have. However, we need to acknowledge the cons because it's not a quick fix. First, it requires effort. You have to sit with yourself and figure out what you value. It's not a quick fix. It takes time, reflection, and sometimes it's uncomfortable. No instant gratification here. Second, it can feel lonely. When you stop chasing external praise, you might find that you're celebrated less by those who only value your status or performance. Your mom might still like all of your posts, but the general public may be less impressed by your quiet, eternal victories. But here's why it's worth the effort: completeness. When you find internal validation, you realize you are already enough. You stop viewing other people's wins as your personal loss. You can genuinely celebrate others because their success doesn't threaten your built in worth. The true power of internal validation is freedom. When you validate yourself, you become a non competing asset. You stop being distracted by the crowd and focus on the one person who actually needs your approval: you. So, the choice is yours. Do you want the fleeting, sugary rush of ego junk food or the long lasting, deep strength of soul superfood? Choose wisely. Your peace depends on it. Let's harness that intense emotional energy. This is a powerful practice. The reframing exercise. When you feel that spike of envy, immediately reframe it. Stop saying, I wish I had their life, and start asking, that achievement shows me something I value. I would take inspired action today to move towards my own goal. Your envy is not a critique of your present, it is a spiritual compass with sass yelling at you about where to steer your fabulous ship next. Use that fire to set a new goal or to get back to that project you truly care about. So, what's the takeaway? We started with the truth and we'll end it with: your life is your masterpiece, and your journey is sacred and distinct. It cannot be accurately measured against someone else's highlighted reel, their bank account, or the number of followers. The key to overcoming the toxic trio is simple but requires discipline. Commit to the quiet work. Commit to building that internal foundation of stone. When you know who you are, what you value, and what you're working towards, you can truly and authentically celebrate the success of others without ever questioning the value of your own journey. Give yourself grace, recognize your effort, and know what is meant for you will absolutely find you. Your spotlight is coming, and it will shine only on you. The key to overcoming the toxic trio is simple, but requires discipline. So commit to the quiet work. Commit to building that internal foundation of stone. When you know who you are, what you value, and what you're working towards, you can truly and authentically celebrate the success of others without ever questioning the value of your own journey. Give yourself grace. Recognize your effort and know that what is meant for you will absolutely find you. Your spotlight is coming and it will shine only on you. If this episode hit you right in the emotional solar plexus, please share it with one friend who needs a confidence boost today. Don't forget to subscribe. And next week, we're leveling up and talking about setting high quality, non-negotiable standards for your life. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, be well, be internally validated, and for heaven's sake, run your own race.